Worst moms in history! In 1781, General George Washington had a crisis on his hands. As he was in the field, his mother, Mary Ball Washington, was telling everyone back home that her son kept her in poverty. She even applied to the Virginia government for money, claiming she was an indigent person, not a—
Yeah, George Washington's mother was a huge burden onto him, especially early on in his political career, because she was constantly going to the newspapers telling about how rough she had it under George Washington's treatment and about how he was neglecting her. When really he was giving all that he really could. He gave her a nice house to live in. He was paying for all of her food. He was paying for her servants. He was paying for a lot of stuff. So she had it really good with Washington, but she was constantly trying to get more out of Washington and was always super critical of Washington, and it drove Washington crazy.
great look for a man with political aspirations. Now, this wasn't remotely true. Washington bought his mother a house and supported her financially. Yet all throughout the Revolution and into his first term as president, Mary would loudly complain in public about George making her live like a pauper. Behavior that became such a problem that George eventually resorted to bringing friends as witnesses whenever he gave her money. But the issues started long before that. After his father died, she kept George's inheritance for her own use for 19 years. However, Mary's financial anxiety had an understandable root. She was widowed at a young age and raised 5 children alone. I mean, that would mark anyone. And despite the trouble she caused, she truly loved George, helped shape his career, and even changed history when she refused to let him join the British Navy. You know, on second thought, maybe she doesn't belong among the worst.
Yeah, so she was a very frustrating situation for George Washington, but she did do a lot for Washington, and George Washington loved her and he respected her, but it got really bad because she was always looking for more money out of him. But yeah, pretty bad mom.